snipers that shot the shooter, which were Secret Service, that were positioned not on the rooftop behind Trump or my brother. They were positioned in another location. This location has been undisclosed. This is the location that we want to talk about today. Hey YouTube, Eric here from Guided. I was on vacation for a couple weeks and I was visiting my brother back in Pennsylvania, and actually at the time that I was visiting him, I was at his house. He was actually at the Trump rally. He had seats, him and his son and his good friend went to the Trump rally, and they sat basically right behind Trump, and I'll show you where he was sitting. I don't usually do videos like this, but it does pertain to shooting, and that's kind of why I'm doing it. He's got some information and he's got some footage that he took while he was at the rally that's kind of very interesting. The two snipers that were captured on camera that were up behind Trump and up behind my brother up on the rooftop, everyone was assuming that them two snipers were the snipers that took out the shooter. And my brother's now thinking, from what he saw, that that's not the case, because there are some reports coming out that the shooter was shot from a distance of about 400 yards away, and the snipers that were on the rooftop behind my brother, they were only roughly 150 yards at the most away from where the shooter was engaged. How does this pertain to me? I'm going to try to recreate the shot and see if we can, how hard the shot was. How hard is it to hit a 9-inch by 9-inch target at 400 yards?
Hey YouTube, my name is Jerry and I am the brother of Eric from Guided. I live in Western Pennsylvania, and on July 13th, me, my son, and my friend were all at the Trump rally. We had great seats, got to witness the tragic events that unfolded. Also, we were amongst the very first that were there. We witnessed some interesting things as we were waiting to get into the event. We arrived early in hopes to get a good seat at 7:30 a.m. Parking opened at 8. Once we parked, we made our way across the field and got into line. We were amongst some of the first that entered the rally, probably the first 50 or so that actually entered. As we waited there in line, we got to watch Secret Service move about the event. At one point early in the morning, as we were waiting, we watched what looked like a bread truck drive around with what looked like, I thought, was military men inside. They did have rifles, and it appeared that they were in camo. It could have been an olive drab, that color, but I thought it was military camo. Shortly after the truck disappeared behind some buildings, we noticed that there was some movement in these wooden bleachers not too far from where we were waiting in line. I would say about 75 yards or so behind us. Within the event, we noticed two men that appeared to have rifles on bipods stationed looking towards the event, which would have been somewhere around 150 to 200 yards away. With the height, the elevation that they had, there's no doubt that they had a clear view of where Donald Trump was going to be, and also surrounding areas and even beyond with their elevation. This is different from all the images we've seen online of the two snipers on the roof behind President Trump. We could also see that they were lifting and lowering their hands as if they were using binoculars looking around, or using rangefinders to range different distances in case a threat were to pop up, is what my thought was. I even made the comment to my friend. I said, hey, check out those snipers. After we got through the gate, we were able to get great seats behind President Trump. After Donald Trump arrived and started the event, when shots were fired, we originally thought that they were cap guns. Later, I found out by a cousin who was a Marine in Afghanistan, that's what bullets sound like as they break the sound barrier as they whiz past you. They have this high-pitched, low caliber sound. About the third shot, I think everybody realized what it was. The news is not confirmed that the two counter snipers behind Trump were the ones who took out the assassin. In fact, Dan Bongino posted the other day that a source told him the counter sniper that took the assassin out made a very difficult shot at about 400 yards away.
So got some details. This is insane when I think about this. Apparently the CS team, a lot of misinformation out there, the counter sniper team that took out the shooter was a Secret Service team. The shot, ladies and gentlemen, was one of the most difficult shots that any CS team has taken in a long time. They had obviously seconds to respond. There was about a 9-inch window they had to shoot in from about 400 yards.
When I had measured the distance from the sniper team we had seen in the wooden bleachers on an app that I have, the app shows it's approximately 350 yards away. We believe this is where the assassin was taken out from. A 9-inch target at 350 yards with that amount of pressure was a heck of a shot. That's our assumption on where the sniper was. So this first circle on this map is where the counter snipers were that we witnessed. The second circle on the map is where the assassin was. The third circle, or square I should say, the blue square, is where the Trump rally was set up. The last circle behind the blue square is where all of the images on the internet are coming from, where the snipers were that everyone thinks that took out the assassin. We believe, if Dan Bongino's reporting is correct, we believe that the assassin was in the bleachers, the wooden bleachers that we've seen, at approximately 350 yards away.
All right, so I have everything set up here. I'm going to turn you around and show you what this looks like here. So what I got is, this is crude, but that watermelon is, that Bongino guy said he had a roughly 9 inches by 9 inches. A 9-inch by 9-inch window to hit. I have a makeshift roof here, roughly. I'm assuming the pitch on the roof of that building that the shooter was on looked like about a 212 pitch. It wasn't very steep, so I ended up building. I had some scraps laying around, so I just put this together real quick. This roof is roughly a 212 pitch. This watermelon represents the shooter looking over the roof at the Trump rally. At the podium. This is where he would have shot from, and yeah, so Bongino said that the Secret Service snipers that actually took out the shooter was in a location roughly 400 yards away. What my brother saw, and when he was at the rally, was he saw two snipers set up in some wooden bleachers. It was actually to the left of the stands, so my brother was directly behind Trump, behind the podium, and it would have been to his left. The snipers would have shot kind of over the crowd. They would have shot over the crowd. They were higher elevation, but they would have shot over the crowd in order to hit the shooter. I just put those hay bales. There's nothing back here. There's nothing out here. Nothing. I just put those hay bales there just as a temporary backstop, because this is just a hay pasture. So that watermelon represents the shooter's head looking over the peak of the roof, looking at the podium. I am going to get back up on the hill here, get everything set up, and see if we can hit this target at 358 yards. And I'm going to do it with a standard hunting rifle, the hunting rifle that I carry with for my hunters. All right, guys, so what I got is I have a Tikka T3 with a Husky scope, and it's got a custom turret on it, and that custom turret allows me to dial in the range for the bullet that I'm shooting, which is Hornady 162 grain ELDX. So this is 7mm Remington Magnum, and we are going to see if I can shoot and hit that target down there on top of that roof. 9-inch by 9-inch target. Basically, I'm going to see if I can engage this target just like the snipers did on the shooter, and see how hard it would be, how many shots it takes me to hit that target at this distance. So I'm going to get you guys in a spotting scope here, and we will get shooting. I'm just going to double check this. I'm 356 yards. So when he did his app and he measured the distance from the roof where the shooter was on to the bleachers that the snipers were on, it was roughly 356 to 7 yards. So that's where we're at right now. Like I said, this is a factory Tikka T3 and a 7mm Remington Magnum, and I'm assuming that the Secret Service snipers are probably using a 308. I could be wrong, maybe a 301 mag, I don't know. But the police snipers that were on the roof looked like they had, they definitely had Night 4 scopes on their rifle, and it was probably at least a 308, if not a bigger Magnum, if not a Magnum caliber. So bigger than a 308. So anyway, I'm gonna shoot here and see how we do. So these snipers, they had literally seconds to react from, unless they physically saw him and had time to set up, they would have not had time to, they would have had time to just to see him, get on and shoot. And I think they shot 2 shots. I think that's what the report said, but I'm gonna shoot one here and see if I can hit it, and hopefully I can, so. All right, looks like I cracked it. I just hit that target at 350 yards, which 9-inch by 9-inch target should be, you should be able to hit that, which is what I originally thought, which I didn't want to say. But yeah, let's go down and take a look at what happened to it. We all saw the recent footage of the shooter on the roof, and yeah, let's go take a look. All right, so like I said, for any of you guys who are new to my channel or just watching this for the first time, I am a hunting guide here in Northeast Wyoming, and really the only reason why I'm making this video is to see, well, one, my brother was at the rally, he was sitting behind Trump. 2, you know, I was watching it I was at his house, I was on vacation at his house watching him at the rally when all this went down. And you want to talk about scary stuff, man. I mean, to watch, to know, just to see it happen to anybody, but to know that your family member's there and that they could have been easily one of the victims that got shot. Unfortunately, you know, one of them died. 2 other guys, I think, were hit, but they didn't end up dying, which is great for them. But to watch this on TV and on live television, to see this all unfold, it was history. I mean, we watched history. We watched an assassination attempt on a former president that's running for presidency again, and that's crazy. That's crazy to watch. That's crazy. We are living in crazy times for someone to think that they should take the life of someone that they don't agree with. I mean, that's, your differences should never be a reason to try to take someone's life. So anyway, I'm walking down to the target here. Let me turn you guys around here. I'm getting close to the target. Like I said, that was a 9-inch by 9-inch watermelon round, the size of a human head. You can see it just all over the place. There's a lot of unanswered questions on this whole thing. One, why was the perimeter fence only 150 yards away from the rally? Or less than that, 100 yards or whatever away from the podium. 2, how do you let somebody with a rifle on a bike ride up, get on a roof, have the time to do all this? I know the Secret Service is saying that they didn't have the funding to give the right amount of staff. That's BS, guys. I mean, that's totally BS. Number 3, you have a bunch of eyewitnesses that see a guy crawling up on a roof with a rifle, calling to police, notifying the authorities, and they had 10, 15, 20 minutes from when they saw the guy climbing on the roof with a rifle to when they actually shot at Trump. And no one engaged the guy. No one stopped him. This is my theory, and I could be wrong. See what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. It's almost like they let the guy do it. It's almost like they let the guy shoot. They let him get up on that roof and take shots at Trump before they engaged him. And that's crazy. That's freaking crazy. He walked around the grounds with a rangefinder, of all things, ranging from different distances, figuring out where he was going to sit, where he was going to climb up and shoot from. And that's bonkers, guys. These are all red flags. These are all red flags that should have been addressed. So that's just my take on it, my 2 cents. I'm just a redneck from the hills, guys. I don't want to get into political stuff. That's not what this channel is about, but this is a shooting channel, a hunting channel, Anyway, hope you guys like the video, like the content. If you do, hit that like and subscribe button. We'll see you guys.